Hey, how's it going, party people? My name is Zach Columber, and I am not a psychologist, a PhD, a meditation guru, or anything of that nature. I'm just a dude who has spent a lot of time thinking about self love, mindfulness, and how to treat yourself better, both physically and mentally. And I'm here to share my thoughts. So, with that out of the way, use your own skeptical thinking. Please don't be looking up to me as some sort of guru, which, as I said, I'm not. One thing I've been really noticing about self love is that people who, like myself, need to focus on self love often have issues with self criticism. And the thing with self criticism is that it's very sneaky. It can infiltrate your thoughts and your ways of thinking without you even realizing it. And so you might be thinking, like, okay, I'm going to meditate a bunch or work out a bunch, and I'm going to be doing that out of a place of self love. And you might be, but you have to check in with the emotional energy because your thoughts will tell you stuff, and it can be hard to tell if those thoughts are coming from a good place or not. So you almost have to connect the thoughts with what you're feeling at that moment to judge if it's a good move for you. So, for example, I've been having this thought of like, I should just meditate for 2 hours a day. It'll help my stomach, it'll help my stress, it'll help all these things. And I think it's like a healthy impulse, but at the same time, the emotion associated with it is pretty. There's like tension, there's anxiety, there's fear, there's avoidance. Um, and I think a way better way of approaching it is in the context of a self love system. So self criticism will get you to try and do a bunch of intense work really quickly and just to be like, I'm doing it, I'm doing it. Like there's this tension, there's control. You are afraid, and so you're using way more tension than is necessary. And you're trying way too hard. This is what I did when I was dieting, and I found that the harder I dieted, the worse my results were. Whereas the time that I dieted and actually saw success and I lost 10 pounds, got to my leanest weight ever before I got my current stomach issues, was through a slow, gradual change. It was the Precision Nutrition Coaching Program. And their program is all about mindfulness, self-love, taking it one step at a time. The opposite of all the intense bullshit I had been doing before. And even though I wasn't lifting weights and I was just doing body weight workout, walking, some running, I still looked way better than I had at any time in the past, even with all that intense weightlifting. Now, obviously, all of that's not the same because some of my prior weightlifting has stuck with me in terms of these sexy muscles. But in terms of weight loss, it was a very clear lesson for me. So, yeah, that's my message to you. Figure out a way that you can be more loving. And this is what it looks like for me if you want an example. So instead of doing this 2 hours of meditation, I just set an accountability goal with my therapist, and I said, hey, I'm going to put up a video a day, these videos right here, and I got to be honest with you guys, normally I'm really scared to put these up because I feel like a fraud. I feel like, oh, who am I to be this expert talking about emotional health when I'm clearly like still struggling and still learning about all of this self-love and self-worth and so on. But then I just realized like, if you're just honest with yourself about who you are and where you're at, and if you're vulnerable, then there's still a way that could help people. Maybe you might be struggling too, and the fact that I'm struggling makes this more trustworthy for you because I'm not trying to be this expert. And let me tell you, most of the experts that I found, at least in the fitness world, but also in other areas, working as an internet marketer behind the scenes, a lot of them are bullshitters and liars. There's some of them that are fucking gold. And I think the way that you can usually tell, this is a side note, is by their intellectual humility. Like, do they admit that they don't know things? Are they comfortable with saying they don't know things? And I don't know a lot, but I do know that I have been thinking about these things for a very long time, and I've experienced very low self-worth, a ton of self-judgment, and I've also experienced how you can change that. And I'm still dealing with this to this day, but yeah. Take it from me, from a guy that used to have all these thoughts about hating himself, and now there's a lot more thoughts of love, and the hatred is mostly gone. There's still fear, there's still feelings of unworthiness, but the self-judgment is gone. And it comes from systems of self-care that are loving, gradual, And I got off the point, but this is what I'm doing right now. So I told her I'm going to release a video each day, doesn't matter what it's about. And I'm also going to meditate for at least 20 minutes each day, which is pretty easy for me compared to what I could do. So I'm keeping it easy. I'm going to keep it gradual. I'm going to build momentum because that's how you be kind to yourself and make progress at the same time. And there's this saying in weightlifting that the slow way is the fast way. I think in terms of personal growth, the light way is the slow way, is the fast way. And what I mean by that is instead of having this tension, you have a sense of lightness, a sense of love, and you let that guide you. And although it seems slow, it's actually the fastest way because any other way doesn't actually work. And the way that works is always going to be faster than the way that doesn't work. Let me know if this resonated with you. Hit me up in the comments, like, share, dislike, do whatever you want, but I appreciate you watching. Peace.